Awesome. Well, we'll get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the info session for the Tech Venture Accelerator Boulder. So today we'll have a quick presentation to kind of go through for you guys, just to give a little bit of a background of kind of like what the program will look like and what to expect. So my name is Audrey Miller. I am the program manager for the Tech Source Commercialization Program, and we are joined by Ruth and Ed, who are two of our subject matter experts that we use quite a bit. So two of our key consultants for this accelerator if you are part of the cohort, you will definitely get to know pretty well. So today, like I said, we'll have a quick presentation and then we'll move into a Q&A for anyone who has any questions at the end. So feel free to use the Q&A feature down at the bottom. You can submit questions as we go, and we'll kind of get to them at the end. So today we'll talk a little bit about kind of what some of the past accelerators have looked like and the successes of them, what it means to be a good fit for this accelerator, and kind of a sample of just some of the specialists that you'll meet with, and kind of see presentations from throughout, as well as what the content looks like and the process of going through the 10 weeks with us. So before we even get into all of that, I figured I'd tell you a little bit about what the Tech Source Commercialization Program is. So it is a program that actually serves the entire state of Colorado. So we work with companies across all four corners of the state, and we are housed by the Boulder SBDC, which is housed by the city of Boulder, but this is a statewide program, so that can be a little confusing sometimes. And this program is specific to City of Boulder companies. So can be a little confusing with all of that. But we typically work with companies that are kind of startup through second stage. But if you are more in the idea stage or a little past, the second stage, we can also we do have resources that are available. But I would say, that typically we do work with companies kind of in that phase. And we do so through the specialized one-on-one consulting. That is the main way we work with our clients. So we have some really amazing experts that we work with, and they do meet one-on-one with companies on a variety of different topics. And so we also, of course, have our accelerator programs, this one being one, as well as a women's accelerator that we do run in the in the spring. And we do different workshops and events. So a lot of webinars, as well as actually last night, we even did a little tech happy hour. And then our main focus, I would say the bread and butter of our program, is helping companies with non-dilutive capital sources. So it's not the only thing we do. We do work with companies on, like I said earlier, a variety of topics, from marketing and to accounting. But I would say it's the bread and butter of our program is definitely working with individuals on that non-dilutive capital. So a little bit about, TVX Boulder, and kind of what makes it different from other accelerators out there. So we do focus on technology commercialization and non-dilutive capital sources in this accelerator. So we also do our best to customize this to the stage of your business and the founder background and all of those, everything that kind of makes you is your company. So we do meet weekly, but outside of that, we do our best to make sure that your experience can be customized based off of the individuals that you meet with, our subject matter experts that you meet with, and also based off of your deliverables, be a little bit more customized to, who you are and where you're at. The other thing that I think is really great is that, we understand that as entrepreneurs, you have a lot on your plate. And so not only with this business, you may have another job full-time or part-time, you have a family, you have a social life, things along those lines. So we do our best to kind of balance the time commitment here with something where you will get great benefit, but we're not asking too much of you as well in that time with your time. So we do our best to kind of keep that pretty, to help kind of meet you where you're at. And we'll talk a little bit more about what the time commitment will look like over this course of the program as well. And then The thing that I think is the best part of the accelerator, well, not the best, but the most unique, at least, of this accelerator is that you do get an in-depth customized market research report as part of being a part of the cohort in this program. So you'll meet one-on-one with your kind of go-to consultant. Ruth and Ed are two of the individuals that you could be working with directly, and they'll kind of meet with you to build a customized market research report for you, and kind of work from there. So we also, don't want this to be an academic format. This is definitely a very collaborative environment, we want you to participate. This isn't, where we're talking at you. We want this to be a situation where everyone's kind of working together, and very, similar to that peer-to-peer aspect, is being able to work and collaborate with other companies, as well as get some, hopefully some really helpful information as well. So, and then the other part is that, probably one of the best parts as well is that, that this is offered at no cost to the companies that we work with. We are very, very fortunate to have the program be sponsored by the city of Boulder, where we're able to offer it at no cost to you. So just a little bit about just some of the economic impact that we've had in the past. These numbers are actually outdated about a year, and I would say we've done a lot to kind of increase our impact, or to collect that impact over the last year. So I can tell you a lot of these numbers have doubled, if not over doubled, since the last time we created this graphic. It needs some updating. But as we kind of finish those collections, we'll hopefully update them. But part of the reason I show this is not only just to show you some of the impact that we've created, but also just to, let you all know that this isn't a program where you participate and then you're done, and that we don't continue to, we still offer all of our resources after you're done with the program. As long as you finish the program, we still continue to work with you. And so we do reach out about 6 months later and about a year later, to check in to see, what you're doing, to check in on this impact. And also to see, what services we may have to continue to help and support you as well. So this isn't, you're done with your 10 weeks with us and then you don't hear from us. We are continued to be a resource for the companies that we work with. And then just a couple testimonials. I think this one is from our Women's Accelerator specifically, but I think it's just a great way to show the community that you build throughout the accelerator. I think it's just really valuable. Being able to meet and work with other individuals who are going through the same experiences as you, at least similar experiences, and to have a very engaged group where everyone's very collaborative is, I think, just really helpful. So on top of all the other information and the value that you get from the resources that we have, there's also that community aspect that I think is just really, really helpful and great. And again, just another testimonial to talk more about the market research report, and just how much value there is in that too. I think it's a very, market research is an underrated value add, I think, sometimes. And I think the report that is given to the individuals who participate, as you can see here, adds quite a bit of value to the founders that we've worked with in the past. And so here you can kind of see these are four of our main consultants that you would be working with throughout the entire program. So they are kind of our key consultants throughout it all, who do come into sessions and will be working very one-on-one with you throughout. So we have a very, very great group. We're very fortunate to have an amazing group of consultants who have a lot of information and a lot that they can help with, and who are just really great. And so these are the four that you'd be seeing quite a bit. Ed and Ruth are obviously here with us today. And then we do quite a bit of work with, Susie and Allison as well. And then outside of that, these are some of the other subject matter experts that we bring in to chat with you and do presentations, as well as meet one-on-one. So anytime we have anyone who comes and does a presentation and comes and talks about a specific topic, they do offer the time for one-on-one meetings as well outside of that, to talk through strategy or give support where they can. So And this is just, again, just a small sample. We have about 20 different subject matter experts that we work with very closely. And so this is, again, just a small sample of the individuals that you could work with. So who is a good fit? So this program, this accelerator in particular, is for people who are located within the city of Boulder. So you do need to have an office in the city of Boulder to participate in the program. So that is very key since we are being funded. This program is funded by the city of Boulder. We do ask that you have, at least an office within the city. And then we're also looking for advanced technologies. So people in advanced manufacturing, aerospace, bioscience, things along those lines, innovative advanced tech is kind of, those are the companies that we are looking for to be a good fit for this program. And then the potential to submit for an SBIRS TTR. So it goes a little bit on with that advanced tech, but because this program does quite a bit to help prepare you to submit for an SBIRS TTR, we are looking for people who are interested in going down that path and have the potential to submit long term. And then, of course, we are looking for people who are committed to fully participating in this program. People who are able to show up every week and submit all of the deliverables and, again, who are just really committed to fully participating and being present throughout the entire experience. So I'm going to pass it over to Ruth and Ed to chat a little bit more about what the program looks like and what the design aspect and what your experience will kind of look like.
Okay, thanks, Audrey. So I'm Ed Case, and just to give you a little of my background, by degree, I'm a mechanical engineer. Spent a lot of my career in software, doing simulation and visualization software. Been doing more business development for the last 20 plus years, and have worked with SBIR companies since about 2005. And I've been consulting with the SBDC since 2015. So there's really, as Audrey said, two sections to your involvement with the accelerator. There's what happens in the cohort. So in our Thursday morning meetings, we bring in different subject matter experts, expose you to different topics. And we do try to, as Audrey said, not make this a lecture. So you get preview of the content in advance. A lot of times we ask for your questions in advance so that our subject matter experts can really come in and talk about the things that are of interest to you. And we bring people in with a broad exposure to different parts of small business. So legal, marketing, some of the HR aspects. SBIR is a big part of what most people get out of this program. So the mixture of consultants will begin to present to get a really good peer-to-peer conversation going, but also they're around to have one-on-one meetings with you afterwards. One of the things that a lot of founders struggle with is being able to just talk to other people that are, having the same issues or facing into the same challenges in their business. So there's a lot of time for you to talk with your peers. We do breakout sessions so that you can try and use this peer board as a sounding board for some of the things that you're going through. And what we try to work through is an action plan that you're going to develop over the course of the accelerator, and it kind of culminates with a pitch. And the pitch can be to whatever audience makes sense for you. So whether you plan on pitching to investors, or you need a customer pitch, or it's a pitch for as you're attracting new employees, just making sure that they are grounded in whatever your culture is. So those are the tools that you're going to develop over the course of the accelerator. And Ruth's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that happen outside the Thursday morning meetings.
Thanks, Ed. So I'm Ruth Janich. My formal training is business oriented, and I started my career working for technology companies, and have been doing market research for quite a long time, about 25 years, supporting these programs and the SBDC since 2011. Starting in 2016, we did our first Boulder SBDC accelerator, and Ed and I both have been supporting the accelerator since then. So the market research process, that what we call in the venture, which will run in parallel to the cohort sessions. We will meet with you initially to figure out what your needs are, learn about your business. So there'll be an initial meeting, and those may happen actually even before the cohort starts, because the sooner we get the market research done for you, the better, and that will give you the information to inform your pitch and do some of the customer discovery. So we kind of hit the ground running. But this is a process that we've honed collectively, and with Allison and Susie, we've worked with a lot of businesses. And so we are generalists, but some of us have kind of done more projects in certain areas. So as we go through the application process, we'll try to distribute the, and work with you depending on, where a good fit is amongst the team. So again, we'll do an initial meeting, and then each of us will go off and work on your market research, and we'll then have a debrief, and that will happen, usually by the midpoint of the program, and that report will help set you up to, like, so you see customer discovery as the second activity. We will actually look for companies and individuals as examples for you to do customer discovery. So what we mean by customer discovery is kind of a, it might be a phase 0 of business development, doing primary market research, actually talking to individuals in your market so that you really understand what their needs are. This is probably one of the biggest learning benefits from that we get out, that we've heard from past participants from this program. It's not always an easy thing. So we will be coaching you along the way, and again, trying to direct you to people. But that will help inform, your pitch and your commercialization strategy that you might use in an SBIR application. So it all kind of comes together that way. Along the way, you'll also have access to the SMEs that Ed was referring to in the first part. Some of the people that will come and present are also available to meet one-on-one. And, again, we get great feedback on those folks from prior clients. It will culminate with a business model canvas session. If you're not familiar with business model canvas, I mean, sometimes companies have already done them before. So we don't want to repeat what you've done in the past, but it can be a great time to explore a new market. It's like, what does that look like? And it's a chance to step back and really figure out what the strategy is, the customers, the value propositions for a particular market. And that usually will be 2 of us. And we have, in addition to Susie Bonson does lead some of those sessions, we have another person, Catherine McHale, who's excellent at doing that as well. And so hopefully that gives you a sense of the outside consulting. All throughout that whole time, you'll be working on your pitches, and we'll actually have, during the cohort sessions, a chance for you to practice them and get feedback. Super valuable. The more prepared you are, the more competitive you are against other companies that are trying to raise money. So I'll pass it back to Audrey, and thanks.
So thank you so much. So kind of going off of what Ed and Ruth just, kind of talked about, just like what you'll get out of the accelerator. So obviously, that first one is a big physical takeaway, is that that market research report that both Ruth and Ed talked about and that I mentioned earlier. So, and again, kind of reiterating what they said, that does come with a debrief session as well. So to talk through kind of what that market research means and how to use it. So you're not kind of just left with this packet without knowing, where to go from there. So And then again, how Ruth mentioned that business model canvas session, I have heard from multiple participants in the past how helpful that individual session, that session has been for them, and how it's really changed the way they've approached different markets. And so I know that that's a really great takeaway as well. And yeah, similar, we do that final pitch at the end. And so you do get pitch deck consulting. We not only will you do some practice sessions with our team and the in the cohort, but you also do have the opportunity to get that one-on-one consulting with a couple different experts on design and on content, to really make sure that you walk away with a really great deck at the end of this that you can move, that you can use in other situations. And then we, of course, those consulting sessions with any of the subject matter experts that we bring in, again, at no cost to you. So you do receive those sessions. Some of them may be, some of them can be one-off sessions. Some of them might be multi sessions. It just depends on demand and on the consultant. And then, of course, that action plan that Ed mentioned earlier for moving your business forward, for, to kind of help you post accelerator as well. And then, of course, yeah, that presentation with feedback from the subject matter experts and participants. So we do bring in individuals at the end who do work, who are either investors themselves, work in like investing consulting, or to work for different VCs, things like that, to come in and kind of take a look at your deck and provide feedback as well. So you do get that at the end. And then this is just a sample of what week to week it can kind of look like. This is definitely subject to change depending on, availability, of course, of, when we're scheduling things. But these are definitely a lot of the topics I would say that we do bring in individuals to talk to you all about, and that then you have the option of meeting one-on-one afterwards with. So, and then this does run from September 12th to November 21st. We do have 1 week off, which is October 24th. There's no session on that week. And November 21st is the week before Thanksgiving. So we do end before the holidays start. So once you kind of wrap up the accelerator, and then it goes right into holiday season for you to enjoy, all your newfound free time with the holidays. And it does run Thursdays from 9 to 11:30 a.m. There is, I should have included it on the slide, but there is after that for a few weeks, we do have the pitch practice sessions after. And so those are totally optional. There's no, but the mandated time, the time that we do ask of you for sure is that 9 to 11:30 a.m. every Thursday. And this is an in-person accelerator as well. So we did do things hybrid in the past. This year we are doing things completely in person after feedback from the last cohort. So we took that feedback and said, okay, we'll make everything we'll make it in person each week. And then kind of going into that expected time commitment as well. So you can kind of see here what those scheduled meetings look like. This is over the entire, I guess technically 11 weeks, 10 weeks of in-person, 11 weeks total. But so you can see what the time commitment looks like with the cohort session, the discovery meeting, your research, debrief, and as well as the business model canvas. So this is that's the estimated time in terms of the in-person, scheduled stuff. And then the deliverables and kind of weekly tasks, that's obviously varies. So depending on how quickly you work and how much time you really want to spend on these things. But again, this is the estimated kind of time commitment in terms of those deliverables and those weekly tasks. But again, this is over the course of about 11 weeks. So this isn't, all at once. So it does, I think, is pretty manageable for most people. And so how do you apply? So the application deadline is August 16th. You can apply online. I'll drop the link in the chat in just a moment. But so you can apply online there. And yeah, so we really encourage you to apply if you're interested. We have had some really great cohorts, and we expect this one to be no different. And would really, yeah, like I said, really encourage you to apply. And again, we'll kind of move on to the Q&A, but if long-term, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me if it's in regards to your application or anything else. I'm always available, and an email will go out to everyone after this, probably later today or tomorrow, with the link to the application again and the recording of this, and as well just like more, if just a few other debrief things. If you've got any other questions, you'll have my contact info. But yeah, so that's all we've got for the presentation, but we'd love to answer some of your questions. I know there's a couple in there already, but if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And then, great, I'll take a look at that Q&A. So the first one is, does co-working office space qualify? It can qualify as long as you have, so if you're doing work within the city of Boulder and you have an address that you use within the city of Boulder, that can qualify for you. So just make sure that when you put in your address on the application, that it is a city of Boulder address. That's the biggest thing. So we're located in Broomfield. Is there a similar program available outside of Boulder? So we do not currently have one one that's available outside of Boulder, unless except we do have a women's accelerator. So we do hold a program that is basically the same thing, but it is for women or women identifying individuals. And so that is so that's where we do offer this type of program. Otherwise, we would love, if you were here a few minutes early, you may have heard Ruth and I discussing this. We would love to be able to offer it outside of just the two that we have at the moment. But currently, funding wise, this is, kind of what we're able to offer is these two.
But, Audrey, people outside the city of Boulder can still come to the SPDC and get individual services. It's just
Yes, yeah.
through the accelerator.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah, people are still, so we do offer our services outside of just the city of Boulder. So yeah, so if you are located outside of the city of Boulder, you are still welcome to all of our services. It's just our two accelerators. The two that we offer right now are the Boulder and the women's one. But if you are interested in consulting or any of our webinars, things like that, you're completely welcome to still do that. And like I said, I'll send out an email with more of our resources that we offer. How many people apply and how many are accepted? So we do accept about 9 companies. So that is the number, that's how many companies are part of the cohort. How many people apply? It ranges from year to year. I wish I could give you a direct answer. I would say it's relatively competitive because we don't necessarily accept 9. So we want to make sure that this is a good cohort. So if we have, if only out of, if we get 20 applications, but only 8 of them are really strong applicants, we will accept only 8 versus the 9. So we do want to make sure that this is a strong cohort and that, people are going to get a lot out of the program and that we're not just accepting people for the sake of accepting them. So we want to make sure that this is, it's the right fit for you based off of the application. What are some things that we should point out in the application to get selected? I'll actually let Ruth and Ed answer this since they're also part of it and they've seen quite a bit of the application rounds if either of you want to jump in and add anything.
Sure, I'll jump in on that one. So for sure, having a technology that could potentially be funded by an SBIR grant, that is one criteria that is helpful. But the options are pretty broad. So one of the other things that we look at is coachability and your interest in whether whether you're interested in getting the consulting help from us and working on your strategy and your commercialization versus just getting like tactical, specific tactical things. So you'll see questions on the application about that. It's like, okay, are you willing to do customer discovery, for example? Because that's where we really, one of the areas that we really see people move forward. So Ed, if you want to add to that, feel free.
I think you pretty much covered it. You know, it's, and if you're interested in what things mean as far as the SBIR program, if you look at like the DoD or NASA, they have a concept of a technology readiness level, and figuring out where your idea fits in that technology maturity to go into the SBIR program, you're really kind of at a 1 or a 2. So you're kind of beyond just the idea stage, and you've probably had some idea of some of the things that you want to do. So telling us about the maturity of your technology helps us kind of figure out and get a good match across the different companies so that you're interacting with people that are in a similar place.
Great. Thank you both. So next question, we've received an SBA or STTR, SBIR from NSF in the past. Can we still apply for SBIR from other agencies? Yeah, definitely. You're still eligible to apply for SBIRs with other agencies. We have worked with individuals who have received awards and then go through our program after receiving an award as well. So it doesn't make you ineligible to participate as well. So definitely would still encourage you to apply and then kind of, discuss that in your application as well. Who attends the pitch practice? So pitch practice is attended it's typically me. We have some of our SMEs will attend as well, like our key SMEs. So might be Ruth and Ed, or Catherine, Susie, or Allison, kind of depending on the day, or who your key consultant is. And then we do bring in so David Talon, who, as you may have seen on there, is also one of our key consultants that we do quite a bit of work with. And he does attend just about every pitch practice as well, because that is definitely his expertise. And so he also does attend to kind of help give feedback. And then again, like the cohort. So anyone in a cohort who would like to join is able to. So again, pitch practice is not required. So anyone who would like to attend and see other people's pitches and help provide feedback are welcome, but it's not necessarily the whole cohort. And then I'm working on a startup idea using AI for food marketing. I know the SPDC is great. Thank you. Not sure which SBIR or STTR program my concept would align with, though. Would TVX folder still be a match? So I definitely still encourage everyone to submit an application, even if you're unsure, if it's something that you're interested in, but you're unsure about. I definitely would still encourage you to submit an application. And then based off of, more information from you is kind of, we can kind of decide internally as well if on bringing, on if you would be a good fit for the program, but I would still encourage you to submit an application if you're unsure.
Yeah, just a quick one on that.
Yeah.
There are some food programs under the USDA, and that solicitation is actually open right now. And applications are due September 17th. So I bring that up because by the time we start the cohort, it's probably too late for you to start an application. So you might look at the USDA SBIR. If you're going to focus more on the AI aspect of it, NSF might be a better fit. And NSF is always open and has 3 deadlines over the course of the year. So.
And I know a lot of places are also AI has been a hot topic recently as well. So in a lot of places. So yeah, like I said, definitely would encourage you to submit an application. Yeah. And as Ed said, check out the USDA. And like I said, I'll send out an email as well with some of our other resources. So if you would like to chat more or anything along those lines, you can also reach out. Great to know that these services are also available outside of this program. How can we access these services directly? Great question. So we have you can request consulting through our website, which like I said earlier, I will send out an email. If it's not today, it'll be tomorrow, with kind of just more ways to access our resources more so, and where you can request consulting. And we can kind of get you started on how to, access some of our other services. And then, are there programs for tech software that can help lower the cost of housing, buying, selling? I think you mean in terms of SBIRs. I don't know if Ed, if you know more about this probably than I do, but
Yeah, so the two places I would look, USDA is interesting that they also have a topic that's specifically for rural development. So that has a lot of economic equity themes to it. So that might be one place to look. Depending on what the underlying technology is, again, NSF might be a good place to look. NSF tends to do things that are more broad as far as they have research topics in their portfolio. Most of the other agencies actually publish solicitations with topics. So you have to be responsive to the topic, and they tend to be more narrowly defined applied research, whereas NSF tends to be broader. And there are other sources outside the SBIR programs that may be a place where you fit as well. So, and there are experts that do come in and talk to the cohorts about other sources of federal funding.
yeah, we do talk about funding outside of just SBIR, STTR programs, both state and federal options for funding. So yeah, just want to add that it's not exclusively SBIR, STTR. I will say that tends to be the focus for a lot of it, but it's not exclusive to that. That looks like it's the last question we have there. If anyone else has any other questions, you can feel free to include it in there. Ruth or Ed, I don't know if you've got anything else you want to add before we wrap up.
Just to touch on where Audrey mentioned other sources of funding. There is the Advanced Industry Grant Program through the state of Colorado. We do have someone, Rama Harris usually comes in. She's actually the director that oversees that. And that is a matching grant program that is broader as far as the types of topics. And there is specifically an information technology industry underneath the Advanced Industry Grant. So you may look, that all falls under the Office of Economic Development and International Trade, or OEDIT. So you might take a look at Advanced Industries and OEDIT. If you just Google that, it should get you to where you need to look at that program.
And I can also include that as a link too when I send out an email to everybody as well, since for people to find it a little bit easier. But it looks like there's no other questions on here. So if anyone does have any other questions, like I said, you can feel free to send me a note. And I can, directly after this. And otherwise, thank you, Ruth and Ed, for joining us today and helping out. And then, thank you to everyone else who joined. And I'll be sending out, like I said, an email in the next day or two with the recording and a few other resources. And then, hopefully looking forward to seeing your applications come in. And if not for that application, at least getting to work with you hopefully in the future. So thanks.